It's not so easy when you're applying for any visa as a Nigerian passport holder. I tell you, it's an extreme sport, to be really honest. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Bola Harrison. Kindly stay, keep watching, enjoy, and guys, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave your comments in the comment section, and also share to your friends and your loved ones. And finally, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification bell so that whenever I put up a new video, you'll be the first person to get notified. So let's just dive right into today's video, where I'll be telling you how I applied for and got my UK standard visitors visa as a student who is studying and living in Europe. So in January 2020, the UK withdrew from the European Union. So if you are living in Europe or any of the Schengen countries, previously you could travel to the UK without a visa. But with this new development, or with the development of Brexit, that's the withdrawal of Britain from the European Union, you now need to apply for a standard visitors visa to visit the UK, either for tourism, for business, for short stay programs, academic programs, or for research purpose or medical purpose. So if you're living in Europe, if you're studying or working in Europe and you intend to visit the UK, note that you will need to apply for a visa, and in this video I'll tell you how I went about that. So the minimum duration for the UK standard visitors visa is 6 months, and this visa guarantees you multiple entry into the UK. So it means that you can go into the UK to visit as much as you like within the 6 months. But note that there are certain requirements to getting this visa, and there are certain documents you must provide or you must have in order to fulfill the requirements and get the visa to visit the UK. So the standard visitors visa cost £115. As at when I applied, it was £100, but with the recent increase in visa fee for UK, the visa now costs £115 for the standard visitors visa for the purpose of tourism. Each of the category that you'll be applying for has a different visa price. If you are going for business, I think it's around £200. So if you are going for business, for any academic course, maybe a short course that is between 6 months and below, then they also have different price range. But for the purpose of tourism, it is £115. Now note that with this visa, you cannot work in the UK. You can only enter the UK multiple times, but you cannot work. You cannot hold any public offices. You cannot gain access to public funds. So you are only there for visiting. You are only there to visit the UK and come out. You are either applying as a student or you are applying as a worker or a business person. But for this video, I'll be sharing my point of view as someone who applied as a student and a part-time worker in Europe. So the first thing you need to know is the visa requirements. Can you fulfill the visa requirements, or do you have everything it takes to fulfill the visa requirements and what you would need? Now, before I go ahead, I would like to first mention that if your documents are not in English, that's if you are living in any of the European country where the official language is not English, and you get any document that is not issued in English, for instance, if your document is issued in Polish, in German, in Dutch, in Czech language, or any other language that is not English language, you would need to get this document translated by an official translator and have it certified. You know, when you translate the document, there's a stamp they are going to stamp on it to show that this document is a certified true copy. So you need to translate from whatever European language or whatever language of the country of residence is using, and then translate it to English and have it certified and stamped. So you will be submitting this document. Every document to submit must be in English language. Now, the first document you will need is your travel documents, which can be your international passport or national ID card for those who are citizens or permanent residents of the country of residence where they are applying for the UK visa from. So your international passport must be valid, and it must be the original, not the photocopy, and it must be in good condition. The second requirement is that you have to show that your intention is just to visit the UK and you will be leaving the UK after your visit. You don't have any plans to stay in the UK. You don't have any plans to do anything other than visiting. You also have to show that you are able to support yourself, that you have enough money to fund your trip to the UK and back to your country of residence. And you also have to show that you can afford your return journey. You can afford the onward and return trip. If you are booking a flight or you are going by bus, by air, or by water, you can afford this, and you have a booking that guarantees that you are coming back from the UK. You are going to leave the UK basically. So I think both these are like the major requirements that you have to fulfill before you talk about the documents that you need. So you'll be asked how long you intend to stay in the UK, when you want to visit the UK, what's the duration of stay, that's how long you want to stay, where you will be staying, if you are sponsored, where are you staying, who is your sponsor, how much you are earning, how much you spend in a month, and how much you intend to spend in the UK. You have to answer all of these questions. It's like a lot of questions that you have to provide answers for. They will also ask you, if you are a student, your university details. If you are a worker, they will ask you your employee details and your job roles, your job description, how much you are earning. Also be asked the proof of finance, like what's your source of income as a student, if you are funded, if your parents are paying your bills, if you are working to support yourself, or if you're on a scholarship. All of these questions you have to answer. If you're a student that is also working part-time, there's no problem. You can submit your student document and also submit your work document, even though it's a menial job, even though it's not a full-time work. Because in my case, I was working part-time and I was also studying. So in my case, I uploaded my student document and I also uploaded my employees document and my proof of employment and how much I was earning and everything that pertained to my job that I was doing as a part-time student. I'll tell you every document I uploaded and how I uploaded it and the category that I uploaded it. So, but let me go to the next thing you'll be needing. You've provided answers to all these questions. They will even ask you where you've been in the last 10 years, if you've traveled, your travel history. So if you've gone to any country, even though you are in Nigeria or you are in Europe or you are in any African country or any other country aside from the UK, and you've traveled to neighboring countries, like if you are in Europe now, they don't stamp your passport whenever you go to another Schengen country. So if you live in Germany and you travel to Netherlands, your passport will not be stamped. In my own case, even though I had gone to other Schengen countries that were not stamped on my passport, I listed them in my travel history, and I applied for this visa from Belgium. In case I have not mentioned that, I applied for this visa from Belgium, and because I had a valid visa for the Czech Republic and I also have a valid resident permit for Belgium, I put Czech Republic also as part of my travel history, and other countries that I have visited that I do not have the visa or any form of stamp on my international passport. I'll be using Belgium as my point of reference. So for accommodation, you'll be asked your proof of residence in the country where you're applying for the visa from. You want to have your rental contracts. You also want to have your proof of payment to your landlord. In my case, I added my proof of payment to my landlord. It also reflected in my bank statement. So I made sure that every month I send my rent to my landlord. I always put so and so, maybe October rent, January rent, February rent, and it's reflected in my bank statement. And I also had like screenshots that I put as also proof of residence. So I put my rental contract. Now my rental contract is in Dutch. The rental contract I have in Belgium is in Dutch, and I also have an English copy that was not signed. So what I did was I took pictures of the rental contract, the Dutch. For every page that was in Dutch, I would take a page that was in English and put it. So when I'm arranging the file on PDF, you take pictures of it, you can convert it to PDF online. So while I was converting to PDF online, I would just put one page Dutch, one page English, one page Dutch, one page English. So the Dutch pages were written and signed by my landlord and myself. So that served as my rental contract. You also be asked how much you earn, your gross salary, and how much you spend monthly. You want to make sure that what you spend in a month is not up to par with your gross salary. It's like you say you are earning 1,000 and you spend 800 euros every month and you earn 1,000 euros. So it means that you basically have 200 euros. So how do you want to fund your trip? So if you earn like 1,000 euros, you can just say that you spend like 600 euros every month for your rent and for your upkeep. You also want to make sure that you have money in your account, because they will ask you for proof of finance of how you intend to fund this stay to the UK and how much you intend to spend on your trip. So you can just say that on every day of this trip you are spending maybe £100, and if your accommodation is like, maybe you get an hotel of £100 and you intend to eat out, definitely may say you'll be eating out, so you can just say you intend to spend £200 to £300 for every day you are living in the UK, and you intend to stay for 4 days, so that's £1,200. So you convert this money to euro and you have the euro balance in your account. And another document they will also ask you is your booking, that is accommodation, proof of where you'll be staying in the UK. So for this, you don't need to book any hotel, you don't need to pay. You can use applications like booking.com, travel stats, or Airbnbs. You can get an accommodation for those places that you don't need to pay. So I will advise you use booking.com, because I use booking.com to book an hotel in London that I did not need to pay any form of deposit or holding fee. So I booked the hotel, and just make sure that you cancel the hotel reservation before you get to that point. So after I submitted my visa application, and I didn't even allow it to get to the point where my travel date was coming close, I canceled the visa application. I canceled the booking application for the hotel. Otherwise, you'll be charged. If you're also applying as a student, you'll be asked your university details. In my case, I had already done my first semester exam, and we had an holiday coming up in April, which also happens to be the period of my birthday. So I was applying as a tourist, that I was going to spend my birthday, the Easter holiday as well, and my birthday in London. I uploaded my admission letter. I uploaded my what's it called, my school calendar. So on the school calendar, there is a place that states the holiday we had, and the coming holiday we had as at then was the Easter break for 2 weeks, and the first week of the Easter break happens to be the week of my birthday. So it solidified my purpose of traveling to the UK. And in my case also, I added a letter of explanation to explain that I've always wanted to visit the UK. You don't need to do this. It was a simple cover letter of just 2 sentences or 2 paragraphs that I thought that would help me out with my application. Already I had very legit document, but I just wanted to, that extra package. So I put a cover letter to just state why I wanted to go to the UK, and I just wrote it there. Of course, in your application, you'll be asked in a place, I think in about 500 words, to state why you want to go to the UK, to explain further. But I also still added a cover letter to state why I wanted to go to the UK, what I want to do in the UK. So I just put there that what I want to do in the UK, I wanted to see certain historical places in London. I wanted to go to London Tower. I want to see the London Eye. I want to go to Madame Tussauds. I want to see the Sea Life Aquarium, and I want to go on the London up-on and up-off bus. Now, of course, all of these places I said I'm going to, I booked the activities. So you can find website. I think there's a website that I booked all of these activities. I would see if I can remember and find the link. I booked all of these activities: the Sea Life Aquarium, the London up-on and up-off bus, the London Tower and Madame Tussauds, London Eye, London Crown Jewel exhibition. I booked all of these. I downloaded a PDF. I didn't pay, so you can book for free. Just make sure you cancel it in advance before the travel date, before the last day of the cancellation, so you don't get charged. I also did a travel itinerary. The travel itinerary stated the day I wanted to travel to the UK. Each day I will be in London. How a travel itinerary is, if you don't know, you can go online on Google. You'll see images of travel itinerary. Just customize it to suit your own travel plans. So you don't need to book travel tickets, but I stated it there that I'll be leaving London for Belgium. Now, for the work part of it, I uploaded my work contracts. Though they gave me the work contracts in Dutch, and when I wanted to translate to English, it was too expensive. So I just used my work schedule for the month. So every month I get like a calendar of activities and places where I'm supposed to be working. I put my pay slips, how much I was earning, how much I was paid. I put my pay slip for the last 6 months. I also put my my employer's details, the address of my employer's office, and the phone number of my employer. So what you also do for proof of finance is to upload your bank statement for the last 3 months. Also, if your bank is a type that gives you a bank balance, you can ask them for bank history, so they give you a breakdown of all the costs you spend and everything, that your overall bank activities as well as your bank balance. So it's not just the bank balance, the money in your bank, but your bank history from the last 3 months down to when you want to apply for the visa. Another thing you should note is that if you are being invited, if somebody is sponsoring your trip to the UK, if your sponsor is in the UK and they're inviting you, they must give you invitation letter. They will give you a copy of the residence permit. They will give you a proof of finance that they can fund your stay and how they intend to fund your stay. Their proof of residency also, that's that their rental contract and proof that where they are staying. Because if somebody is sponsoring you and you be living in their house, you don't need to book any hotel. So you need to put proof of where you'll be staying. That's the rental contract or their whatever they can show that if the house belongs to them or if they are renting the house. Now, for those that are working full-time, you would want to ask your employer to give you an introduction letter, a letter that just states that you are an employee of the company. So you can state that if the document is in English, you can add it that you work in so-so company, you've been working with them from so-so time to so-so time, and they are aware you'll be traveling and you'll be back at so-so point in time to start or resume your work. And when you fill all of this, you will be asked to pay the application fee of £115. You will be sent your receipt and everything, and you'll be redirected to TLS. TLS is the one that handles the UK visa application process. So on TLS, you'll be paying extra fee. You'll be paying the TLS UK VI service charge. In my case, I paid €64.55. I don't know how much it's going to be now. What it covers is the handling of the UK visa process for you between TLS and the UK government. So it's called TLS UK VI service charge. It's 64.55 euros. When you pay this money, you would proceed to book your appointment. As when I applied, there was no free appointment. Usually you can book a free appointment, or if you want certain services like prime time where you can go anytime, or flexi where you can also go anytime and that same day but anytime, or move your appointment. But on that particular day, there was no free appointment for months. Like even as going into April, May, there was no free appointment, and I needed to book the appointment in March because I was using my holiday in April as my point of reference for traveling for tourism to the UK. So I had to pay. So if you want to pay for appointment like flexi, prime time, or I don't know the last one, you would now pay. So I paid 120 euros to TLS to get a flexi appointment, and then you have to choose between two types of services, either self-service or assisted service. Self-service is for you to upload all your documents online by yourself on the TLS website. So you see a part that says mandatory documents, tracking your documents, which you can't track yet, and then you see a part that says upload, where you can upload every supporting document you are using to back up your application. I did not apply with my Czech document because for Czech Republic I only had a visa, and when I called the UK embassy, or called the number they had on their website to confirm if I can use my Czech visa as my proof of residency, I didn't get a very good response, and I didn't want to risk getting a rejection based on that. So I used my Belgium documents where I already had a temporary resident card carrying a Belgian registration number that can be tracked and that can be found online. If you choose assisted service, you would take all these documents with you. Don't forget anything. Take it along with you on the day you have chosen to do your biometrics, and they will upload it for you at the TLS center. But in my case, I chose self-service because I like to do my things on my own, so I can be thorough and I don't miss anything. The good thing is, before you submit the application, you can upload and go back to it. Don't submit, because once you submit, you cannot upload anything again, and they will not take anything from you at the TLS website. They will not at the TLS office. They will not take anything from you to upload, because they can't. Anything you know you are uploading, you must have done so. And if you make any mistake while doing your upload, is either you recall your application and the money will be refunded to you, not immediately, to be later, or you add a letter of explanation. So if you make a mistake, don't be scared. You can just draft up a short letter of explanation and add it to your application to cover up the mistake that you have made. Every document will be opened and checked. As students who's on scholarship, don't be scared. You can add this, even though you don't have so much money in your account. You can add this to prove that you have a sustainable source of income to sustain yourself, your trip to the UK, and return back to your country. So on VAF is your visa application form. So you will see VAF. So there, when you finish from the government website, you would download the checklist, your visa application form. You would download it. You have to upload it on the TLS website at the VAF category. That's your visa application form category. So when you finish uploading all of this, you just proceed with application and you submit. Once you click submit, you cannot add anything. But if you don't submit immediately before your biometrics date, you can always go to edit, delete any document and add any document. But once you submit it, that's the end of it to your biometrics date. Now on the day of your biometrics, you see that visa application form and that checklist that you would see. Download the first page or print the first page of the checklist and go along with it on the day of your biometrics. Now I think that I've covered everything, all the documents you need, everything you need to do, how much you would pay. So you are paying £115 now. You are also paying about 65 euros if it's not been increased for TLS services for UK VI. And then the last one you pay is for if you are doing booking appointment. But if there is free appointment date, you will need to pay that. So even if you get a visa and you are not traveling immediately, no problem. You can get a visa in April and decide to travel in June, no problem. You can get a visa in April and travel even few days before it expires, or few weeks before it expires. No problem, but you don't have to travel immediately you get the visa. In 15 working days, I think my visa came out in 13 or 14 working days, and after that it was delivered. I was not at home, so I rescheduled the delivery date. Now they would not give your neighbor your package when it has to do with your international passport coming from TLS, and you see your international passport with the visa stamped on it, and it's bye bye, voila, go to the UK and see the king. So I think I've been able to capture everything that I did and all the document that I submitted. If you need a breakdown again, you can check the description box. I'll put the list of all the items I submitted, and What else? I think that's all. So if you enjoyed this video and if you think that this video has helped you in some way, don't forget to share this video to your friends, your loved ones. Leave your comments, give this video a thumbs up so that YouTube can recommend it to other viewers. And lastly, hit the subscribe button if you've not done so. I'll see you in my next video. Leave your questions, I would answer them because a lot of you have asked me so many questions about this, and I'll answer it when I can. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.